Hi guys, Harry and Hugo here in our private facility, Fitness Studio 46.
And today we are going to be showing you guys how to perform a goblet squat.
Before we get into the nitty gritty of the goblet squat, we need to first make sure that we're getting the dumbbell into position in a safe way. Now there's three ways that you can get the dumbbell up into the goblet position. Firstly, you could elevate it onto a surface. That allows you to just squat underneath the dumbbell and stand it up already in position. The second option is for us to lift the dumbbell up, place it on your knee, and then get underneath and continue it up into the goblet position. And our third and final and least safe option is to flip the dumbbell into position and catch it as it rotates over. Now, this is the most dangerous because you are at risk of dropping it or hitting yourself with it, but it also carries the most style points. So now we're in the goblet position with the dumbbell resting low into the palm of our hands. We can now look at the setup. So starting at the feet, we want to set them just over hip width and toes pointed slightly out. That's going to allow the knees to more comfortably track out over towards the toes. Before we initiate the squat, we need to make sure that his core is engaged. So pull the ribs in and lightly tense your abs, but to the point where you're still able to breathe behind your brace. Now, we could really overcomplicate how to begin this squat movement, but we're going to keep it nice and simple. I literally just want you to squat down and stand up. Everybody's squat is going to look slightly different based on their mechanics and how long their limbs are. However, I'm going to point out the two biggest mistakes that I see with the goblet squat. The first is that the knees tend to cave in. So we don't want to come down with knees bending in. The cue I like to use is to imagine you're stood on an A3 sheet of paper and you're trying to rip that paper down the middle. And that is going to encourage you to torque your knees outward slightly throughout the rep. The second biggest mistake I see is related to depth and mobility. Now, some people don't have the mobility to achieve what would be considered full range of motion. We're not going to compromise our form in order to get that extra few inches lower. I'm always looking for somebody to drop as low as they can while still maintaining good form. The last thing we want to see is as they get to those last couple inches, their butt round underneath and they relax and tuck under. We call that a butt wink, and that's going to put your lower back at risk. So now he's set up, he's braced, he's not dropping too low, and his knees are tracking outwards, and that is a good looking goblet squat. The goblet squat is great for developing your quads, glutes and posterior chain without directly loading the spine like a back squat does.
The goblet squat doesn't involve a squat rack or a bar. It can be used with a dumbbell or a kettlebell, so if the gym's busy, you probably won't have to wait around.